Today we're going to be doing some toy hunting back down in my basement. But before we get to the digging, I have a Bravestarr Ice Castle update for you guys. If you've been watching the show, you know that just recently I picked up one of my holy grail toy pieces, which is this very cool, very fragile Bravestarr Ice Castle playset. But this beautiful piece is far from being a complete toy. So I made it one of my new goals to pick up pieces to at least get this thing near complete and ready for display in my collection along my hunting. Well, I have got some really great friends. I've met so many awesome people in this community over the years, and because of them, I have some updates to this castle. Now, first, I want to give a very special thanks to my friend Chris over at VHS Crypt, the man I bought this castle from to begin with, because he recently hooked me up with not a piece for the castle itself, but a piece for the Bravestarr line that I've been wanting, which is Mara, and she is amazing. We've got the headdress piece, we've got the sword. She's in really great shape, and this is one that you guys probably saw me looking at not that long ago when I was at Hoosier Collecticon. So thank you, Chris. I am so happy to have her in the collection. Now, the piece that we are adding to the castle today comes from my good friend Brad over at Battle Babies, because crazy enough, he didn't have the rest of this castle, but he did have this. One of the missing gargoyle pieces that I needed. I had one that came with the castle, and now I have the other one. And this is such an amazing piece. It's so small and so unassuming, but these dumb gargoyles have been regularly selling for like $150 a piece on eBay, which is mind-blowing. But thanks to Brad, I can now add this to my castle. Holy cow, this is getting exciting. We are making progress on this beautiful, beautiful piece, this grail piece for my collection. Now, let's get down to the basement and see what kind of cool vintage pieces I have down there. All right, it's another basement dig. And today I had a tote that was like pushed way in the back here because I wanted to see what was in it. I think this is gonna be a tote filled with, what do the kids say? Fire. This is a tote full of fire. There's some good stuff in here is basically what I'm trying to say. A lot of vintage pieces. This is a carded figures tote. So lots of stuff in package, and it's kind of a mishmash of various one-off vintage pieces that I've collected over the years that I just kind of threw in this box. And it's kind of haphazard right now because I was already flipping through a little bit just to see if this is the one I wanted to cover, and this is definitely the one I want to cover today. It's a little bit of an awkward setup, like we're kind of right up against the stairs leading into the basement, so hopefully this will work for you. I think what I'm gonna do is just pull things out of this tote and show off some of the fun pieces and talk about some of the things that really stand out, talk about the reason that I purchase them or own them, have them in my collection, why I like them. I will say, on my journey to liquidate my collection, to bring it down a little bit, to sell things off, this is gonna be a hard tote to get rid of anything out of. But we're gonna have to make some hard choices, I think. So let's just first start with seeing what's in the tote, and then I'll figure that all out later. All right, here we go. All right, so we're just gonna go with what's sitting right on top here because I think this is super fun. And there's gonna be a lot of this kind of stuff in here, I think. This is Vertigo from the Primal Rage toy line from Playmates Toys. This is a great piece, and the fun thing is like, I don't think I have this one loose. I think I snagged this one with the intent on opening him because I have a whole bunch of the other Primal Rage figures loose, opened up. I actually covered these in a video way back in the infancy of my channel in an episode of From Pixels to Plastic, because of course, if you didn't realize, this is based on a video game, a fighting game from the 90s. But Playmates Toys did this line, and it's a line of just really wild colored dinosaurs that come with little cavemen that the dinosaurs can eat. It's just a great concept. It's just a fun toy line. And I think Vertigo is one of the tougher ones to get. And here he is in the box. All right, so you guys know that I love bootlegs and knockoffs. And this is a really, really weird line of knockoffs. And I believe that I got these thanks to my good friend, Brad Rader, Battle Babies, at Battle Babies on Instagram. You can check him out. This is a weird knockoff line called Amicable Herculean. And you look at it and you can instantly tell it's like a really bad 5.5 Motu style bootleg or knockoff, but it's got a Ninja Turtles twist to it. First of all, look at the top of the package. Look what it says. For those turtle maniacs, please get these accessories at once to add more fun to your collection. That's what it says on the box. And you can see that the figure comes with a turtle shell. And down here in the bottom of the box, there's a swappable turtle head that you can put on this guy. So this guy basically dresses up, he cosplays as a Ninja Turtle. What a weird, weird toy. And I've actually got two different guys here. But what's even crazier is that they also, in the same toy line, did these, which are like turtle people wearing like karate gis. These are the weirdest toys ever, but I adore them for how dumb they are. And I've got, you can see I've got 3 of the full turtle ones. This one's got a red head. That's crazy. And then 2 of the humans. And I don't know if I could get rid of those. Those are just too ridiculous. Here's some more 90s wackiness from Playmates Toys. It's Barnyard Commandos. This is a James Groman toy line. If you are unaware, James Groman, he's the artist behind things like Mad Balls and so many other just amazing. I love his art style. So not only were these figures like his designs, but like Barnyard Commandos is like full on his idea. Playmates Toys did these figures. Super weird little lineup. And like the figures themselves, they're like little, like unarticulated rubber toys. And then they've got clip-on military armor. They're super wacky, super fun. I got 2 of them here, carded. And the funny thing is like, I think I probably got them at separate times because I don't even remember specifically when or where I got these, but here they are. I got them. Oh, this is another good one. Oh, this is so cool. This is one of those things where like I liked this toy line so much and I've got a bunch of loose ones laying around, but I needed to have like one carded example in my collection. This is Hasbro's Army Ants. Great little line of minifigures, just like Barnyard Commandos. We're once again following that military theme, but this time with the fire ants versus the, it's like supposed to be like red ants and black ants, but their actual colors are orange and blue. And I had a bunch of these as a kid because they were cheap. So I had a ton of these little dudes. Always love them. I've got a bunch of loose ones now, but at some point I was able to get this carded example. And I love it because the artwork on here is amazing. It's not in the greatest of shape. It looks like it's pretty warped and everything, but look at that artwork. Oh, it's so incredible. I love this toy line.
Up and hills, down and dales, as we hit the dusty trail, army ants we go marching along. We are bad, we are boss, we've got guts that swish and squash, army ants we go marching along. Army ants. Then it's high, high, he for the ant artillery. Shout out your orders loud and strong. Grab the eggs! For wherever we go, you will always know, army ants we go marching along. Army ants. Sold in squadrons of 3 and 8 from Hasbro.
Oddball toy lines. I love them. This is from Kenner. Shadow Strikers. Thing you can compare this to most, I think, is Mask, like scale-wise. They're small little figures, but their whole deal was that you dip the figures in warm water and they went invisible. They turned clear. They were totally translucent. This is great. This is the phase 1 converter, which is basically 2 tubes, and you fill one side with hot water and one side with cold water so that you can dip the figure in and turn him invisible and then bring his color back, and turn him invisible and bring his color back. It's silly, but I love it. I love it. This is opened, by the way, because I remember I bought this specifically to like open and display it loose. So it's the box is here, the manual's here, but I opened that bad boy. Supernaturals. Oh man, I love this toy line. So I don't know how good this one's gonna come across on camera, but of course, if you're unfamiliar with Tonka's Supernaturals line, this is one of the toy lines that jumped on the hologram craze. Visionaries is the one that gets brought up a lot. This is my favorite hologram toy line. I loved Supernaturals. This card back is in rough shape, but this is Thunderbolt. He's basically Thor. And I think, you know, I think I've got other carded Supernatural. Yeah, hold on. They were right here in front of my face. I got a couple of Ghostlings too. And I think the Ghostlings are arguably some of like the more iconic figures from this toy line. A lot of people love the Ghostlings. These are rad. Who do I have? I have Rags and Hooter. His name's Hooter. This is because I think he's like an owl. Yeah, what? Oh, it actually tells you on the back. He's a wise old owl who turns into a wizard. That's his hologram thing. I don't know if that even coming across. Can you guys see the hologram on there? Probably not. I didn't realize I had so many of these. That's wild. I have a bunch of those loose too. I have the playset. I have both of the beasts. It's a great toy line. Ooh. Oh, it really sucks that these are like falling off the packaging, but how about, I know there's a lot of fans and collectors of these. I've always loved these. I think it was Applause did these. These are the vintage Applause Nintendo figurines. I've got a few Mario ones here. So the Fireball Mario is great because I had this one specifically when I was a kid. I still have my one from my childhood. He's a loose one, but his blister bubble is kind of coming off. But then I got Mario with his mushroom. I got Mario with his hammer. These are so cool. Oh, here's another one. Mario 2 style. Look, got a little turnip, which is incredible. And then the best one. I got Link. He's the only, so like this line was mostly Mario. There are 8 Marios, and then there's Little Mac, King Hippo from Punch-Out, Link from Legend of Zelda, and Princess Toadstool, before we were calling her Peach here in the US. Man, these bring back so many memories for me because as a kid who grew up loving Nintendo, obsessed about everything Nintendo, but who has always wanted to own physical toys of everything, there were not a lot of options when I was a kid. There were not a lot of toys for Nintendo games, for video games that we were playing. And so these existed, and those Hasbro trophy figures existed. And that was like what we had for toys. So these were a big deal. Oh, I'm really bummed that it's so old that the blister bubble's coming off, but I love these. Oh, this is cool. This is, I'm actually shocked I have this. This is actually from early 2000s, I believe. 2002. This Mario on this blister card was a Wendy's Kids Meal toy. This came in a Wendy's Kids Meal. But I thought it was so cool that it was like a full-on action figure that was blister carded. And I kept it. You can see it's got like you punch them out of the back right there, and that's how you remove them from the box. But I kept this one carded. That is sweet. Boy, there's so many weird things in here. Okay. Oh, another toy line. These are just the boxes. Because I've got all of these together somewhere loose. But Computer Warriors, this is a toy line that I've been going on about for as long as I've been on YouTube. I love this weird, short-lived toy line from Mattel. The soccer trophy specifically was the one that I had as a kid that made me like fall in love with this weird toy line. And then as an adult, I was like, oh, what was that weird soccer ball toy I had as a kid, which made me research these, which made me go, oh my God, I need Computer Warriors. It was one of the first toy lines that like I started hunting down on eBay, like when I became an adult collector 20 years ago, 20 plus years ago. So these are definitely very special to me. I love this toy line. Another weird Mattel toy line. American Gladiators. You know, it's funny. I actually have, and I don't know where they are. I think they're in another box somewhere, unless they're deeper in here. But I've got some of the play sets that go with these too. And I started picking these up randomly because they were always fairly cheap. And my intent was always to open these and like play with some of the play sets, maybe do a video like on this toy line, because I thought the idea of the toy line was so cool. And it's funny because I don't know if any of you watched, they did an American Gladiators documentary on Netflix, I think a couple years ago. And they got to a part in that documentary where they talked about the toy line. And I was like so excited about it until all of the gladiators that were in the documentary talked about how they never got any royalties for this toy line and it uses their likenesses. And then I was just so bummed out. I was so bummed out. I hate how stuff like that happens, man. Oh, these, I remember when I bought these. Trendmasters did this line of Godzilla toys, which included these full-on Power Rangers knockoffs called the Godzilla Force. And there's like a whole series of these guys. And I remember buying these at Astronomicon, the very first Astronomicon in Detroit, Michigan, because I was there as a guest at the show with my friends, the Game Chasers, Billy and Jay. And I remember specifically walking around and finding these, and they were pretty cheap, and I thought they were cool. And I remember Billy being like, you want those, don't you? And I was like, I do. And that's why I have them. He enabled me. Thanks, Billy. Stupid Game Chasers. Hold the phone. I didn't even... This is perfect because this goes right along with a lot of the stuff I've been collecting lately. I don't remember having Mortal Kombat G.I. Joe type Hasbro, right? Not G.I. Joe labeled, but here's Raiden. Here's Sonya Blade. But wait, it gets better. Street Fighter Blanca on card. Street Fighter M. Bison on card. This is... Look. This is one of those things, I think, that happens to a lot of us as collectors. We spend so much time over so many years accumulating stuff that we often forget some of the things that we bought or when we bought them. I knew that I had a bunch of the G.I. Joe, Street Fighter, and Mortal Kombat figures loose because I was actively collecting them, and I know where those are all at. Somewhere along the lines, I picked up some carded ones, and I'm not entirely sure when that happened. But these are amazing, especially because the last couple years I've really put a focus on collecting a lot of these 90s era G.I. Joe figures that I like Ninja Force, like Street Fighter, like Mortal Kombat. It's like I just like had a find, but it's in my own basement. This is awesome. This is so cool. Huh. This is an interesting toy line. Monster Force from Playmates Toys. Another weird Playmates line from the 90s. I do believe this was based on an animated series that kind of took that Universal Monster idea. I think at one time I thought about collecting these because I thought these were really cool looking, but I think this is the only one that I own. This is the best figure in the line, in my opinion. It's the Creature. He is very cool looking. Live the code of the dragon. I thought of the theme song as soon as I saw him. Tycho's Double Dragon toy line, based on the animated series, which was based on the video game. So the animated series obviously changed quite a bit from the video games, and that's what we got for toys. It's the best thing we could get for Double Dragon. Again, going back to what I said earlier about wanting toys of the video games I love playing, I would have loved to have toys based on the actual video game. This was the closest I could get So this is what I've got. I did a From Pixels to Plastic on these also, way back at the beginning of my YouTube experience. So kind of cool that I still have those carded ones here. Yeah, baby. Here we go with more video game goodness. This is a line that I'm actively trying to complete right now. Well, the only loose figure that I need is a Lekman, and I've talked about him before. He's actually on my Grail list right now. He's the rarest figure in the line. But check it out. I have a carded Rush. Amazing. Oh, let's stick with this theme. Let's stick with this video game theme. Okay, one of the other things that I loved to collect in the late 90s, like dating back to when I first found eBay, I found out that there were Mega Man action figures from Japan that we never got here. The only Mega Man toys we had here at the time were these, and they were based on that Ruby Spears cartoon, which was quite a bit different from the video games. Japan actually got toys based on the original video games, and it blew my mind. They were model kits where you actually had to build the figures, and I got obsessed with buying those off of eBay. It's another early video I did on my channel, but here's a couple of different Japanese pieces in this box right now. This is from Mega Man 3, or Rockman 3, and it's a model kit that contains Mega Man and Ringman. Look at these dudes. Look at these little dudes. They're like articulated, they're like solid color. I guess they're made so that you could paint them if you want to, but how amazing are these? And look, there's like a little backdrop of the level that you can put with them. They're so incredible. Oh my God. And then this right here is the Mega Man X Battle Brusher is what this is called. And it's open, but I never actually put it together. I might have to do it because I think this will stay in my collection. Look at this. It's a ring, like a wrestling ring. And it comes with all these Mega Man X minifigures. Come on. This is incredible. Japan gets the best toys, man. So let me peek at, oh yeah, there's a couple things in here I've been looking for. It's another Computer Warrior. This was a gift from my good friend, Jason Duvall. He gave this to me years ago because he was a huge collector of the Bravestarr toy line, and I never had any Bravestarr figures. And I remember always saying, like, it would be really cool just to have maybe Bravestarr and Tex Hex. The main good guy, the main bad guy. I didn't know if I wanted to like collect the whole line, but with a lot of like these retro toy lines, even still to this day, I like to have one or two pieces that represent some of these toy lines. And he gave me this because this was an extra thing that he had. So it's like a 2-pack, but it was just like the inner bubble. They've never been removed. He gifted it to me. And I always have intended to actually open this up and display these guys loose. This has just been packed away, and I actually feel really bad that it's been packed away. But Duvall, you're probably watching. I love this. I want you to know I appreciate this. I think I'm going to open this up. This has got to be up in my collection somewhere. This is awesome. Oh, okay. This is a sentimental piece. This is the, who did this toy line? Oh, Terra Toy. Terra Toy did this. Terra Toy is the company that usually does all the action figure collector cases. But they did this line of Sesame Street figures. And I always thought that this is a great line of figures, I think. You can see they did some really cool stuff there. This was released in 1985. So I definitely had this Cookie Monster action figure as a kid. And I remember loving it when I was a little kid. When my oldest son, who is now 11, was 1 year old, 2 years old, he was obsessed with Cookie Monster. Like, Cookie Monster was his world for about a year there. And I remember coming across, like, these, and I grabbed one for him and one for me because I thought it was such a cool figure. And I think his is still, we opened it up and he played with it, and I think it's still upstairs in his or his brother's room somewhere. But this one was specifically for me to keep on card, not only because I had it as a kid, but because it was a special character to Spencer. So Sentimental toy. Oh, good grief. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Hey, have you guys been watching my toy hunts? Because I literally just bought all 3 of these a couple months ago. They've been in this basement this whole time. This is why this is needed so bad. I am the worst. Unbelievable. Oh, this is the subject of an old video that I did during my slime toy review days. This is the Toxic Sludge Dump playset from Captain Planet and the Planeteers. I actually don't have a lot of Captain Planet toys. I have like a handful of them. They're okay. I had a Wheeler when I was a kid, like just Wheeler. He's the only Captain Planet figure I ever had, so I guess there's like the nostalgia there. But I never had a lot of these, and I still don't have a lot of these. I literally bought this specifically to do that video, and it's still here. This thing was eventually on clearance at Toys R Us for $4.98 at one time. More Computer Warriors. Oh, yeah, look at that. Kenner Alien, Space Marine, Power Loader. This one is still sealed, which is good. I need this. Trying to get a lot of sealed Aliens toys. Glad I have this. Oh, this is rare. This is rare. This is another one that I have to give credit to my friend Duvall, who let me know that this was for sale from my good friend Dealer Dan, who I recently bought all those Christmas catalogs from, if you've been following me. But he got a whole bunch of new old stock at one point of the Super Mario Brothers movie police car. So this is sealed in box. This is a pretty rare piece. Like for a toy line that, you know, isn't really anything a lot of people probably think about because it's based on that 90s Super Mario Brothers movie. The police car is actually a pretty rare piece. And I got it right here, sealed in box. It's pretty cool. Will it be something I feel like I need to hang on to? I don't really know yet, but I was always tempted to open it, but I couldn't bring myself to do it because it's kind of an expensive item. And you know, I usually open a lot of my stuff. I don't, but here I am digging through a box full of carded things. So clearly I don't open everything. So I'm kind of glad I left this sealed. I will probably leave it sealed for now. All right, we're pretty much scraping the bottom of this bin now, but last few things I want to show you guys that I really like. This is another toy line that you guys have seen me pick up pieces for over the years, is the Mega Force toy line. So this is the Ram Fist. I've got a few other Mega Force pieces in here as well. So I've got Thunderwolf, which is pretty awesome. And I've got Crossbolts. So this is one of those lines where like, I had a bunch of these as a kid and I thought these were so awesome. This is probably like, you know, if we're not talking about like G.I. Joe, where I love a lot of ninjas and stuff, if we're talking about like favorite like military based toy lines, for me, it's Mega Force. I think these are just so cool. They're so well made. They're just really, really fun toys. So this is a toy line that I've actually really enjoyed collecting over the years. So really cool stuff. All right, so there you go. I just made a mess by pulling all of this stuff out of my tote and stacking it all around my tote in my basement. And now I get to figure out what I'm gonna do with all this. But at least now I know what all was in here, because this one was really pushed up against the wall. It was behind a bunch of other stuff. And I've really been curious like as to what carded things I had been collecting over the years. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching me dig through, finding some cool pieces in here. I don't know what I'm going to do with all of it yet, but you know, maybe I'll bring it with me to some shows if I decide I'm going to sell any of it. But either way, the journey to unboxing all this stuff continues as I hope to sort all of this stuff out and get things a little bit better organized.